Hello there and welcome to the stream. Not my usual stream that I do every Friday, an evening in 10 forward. This is just a fairly impromptu stream. Hopefully everyone can hear me. Do let me know in the chat if you can hear what I'm saying. This is a stream on a different setup, so you just have to bear with me for a second while I pull up the necessary window so I can see the chat and converse with all you lovely, lovely people. I hope you're okay where you are and your day has been relatively good to you. Obviously today is quite a sad day, as a lot of people are still reading from the news that Anthony Stewart Head has sadly passed away today. At a bit of a loss for words, really, because he'd certainly had a reasonably long life, longer than most. But it's still obviously quite tragic to hear, and quite tragic when anyone passes away. Not very nice at all. Yeah, hello Stephen Bromby. Yes, he passed away today. We found out a few hours back. We were planning to watch Buffy anyway because we've been taking the lad through the show, and we were getting to a particularly difficult episode, one that's very tough to watch, and I think a lot of fans would agree. It was certainly designed that way. We were planning to watch that tonight, and we saw the news around about 5 o'clock this evening that Anthony Stewart Head has indeed passed away. May he rest in peace. Obviously, very upsetting news. And Buffy as a show has suffered with a fair amount of losses over the past sort of 18 months, with the passing of Michelle Trachtenberg and Nicholas Brendan as well. And now our beloved Giles has passed away. And I think for a lot of people, just let me know if you can hear what I'm saying in the stream. I am using a new mic setup, by the way, so hopefully you can hear me loud and clear. If there's any adjustments that need be made, please let me know, so I'm not just talking into the ether. For me, I remember Anthony Head from a few projects, certainly very early on, early 90s projects that he starred in, and Buffy was obviously one of them. I remember first seeing him in a British show called The Detectives. He played he played a quote unquote bad guy in it. Obviously nowadays I don't remember too much about it, but that was the first time I saw him, and then he obviously the next time was in Buffy itself. Also, hello UKDM. Sorry, I'm just reading from the news. We lost an absolute legend. Oh, you're absolutely right. We 100% did lose a legend, and it's very, very sad news. Very sad news indeed. Hello Gooner. Hope you're well. The Discord is open to anyone who's streamed with me before, so if you'd like to come and join the conversation, you're more than welcome. We're going to be talking predominantly about Anthony Head and Buffy and how it's affected us all, this news, and the show in general. And we'll be discussing other things as well. Yeah, very sad news. Yeah, very sad news indeed. I think for me, I was a teenager when Buffy aired. I believe I was around the age of 16. And I started watching this crazy looking new show on television called Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I knew nothing of the movie. Okay, I didn't know anything about the movie. You're recording from the coffee adverts. Yeah, funnily enough, a lot of people are saying that you knew him from the coffee adverts. And you know, he admits that's where he got his big breaks from. A lot of people knew him from the coffee adverts. But aside from that little appearance in a British show called The Detectives, I knew him first as Giles. He was also in Merlin. Had a very prominent role in Merlin. And obviously a slew of other shows afterwards. And the real, you know, you sort of get to the realization that everybody grows old, and he got older, and it wasn't until recently, certainly around the time Nicholas Brendan died, I started checking in with the actors, seeing how they were getting on. My word, people are getting old now. Certainly the people that I grew up watching. Recall, yeah, R.I.P. Giles, Ripper, yeah, and there's that Ripper show that we never got, the BBC never followed through on. That would have been really good. And Wifey says, Gooner, you must watch it, because Gooner has never watched Buffy. Just don't judge it on season 1, it's not great. I think season 1 was just fine. It was a pilot season, what can we say? Yeah, so I was 16, around 16, when Buffy started airing, and the Giles character certainly felt like he'd become a little bit of a father figure to a lot of the fans, myself included. And it, to the group in the show, the gang, the Scooby Gang, and to lose such a great human being is a loss to the world, 100%. Oh, you have to watch it, Gooner. Season 1 is decent, but it gets so much better after that. Yeah, and I agree. Season 1 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer it wasn't perfect. It was a quote unquote shoestring budget. It was cheaply made, but it was a pilot season. It was just finding its footing. As far as I'm aware, the first season was filmed in a big batch, so it was a little rough around the edges. I believe it was only 12 episodes long, but seasons that followed, it improved in quality. And some people say it probably should have ended around season 5, but it didn't. It went on for another 2 seasons, and yeah, it's a great show. It's a great show. I've heard it. I think it's a little disrespectful, but I've heard it as described as a kind of low budget, low effort series from the 90s. But I think it's just quirky, and it means an awful lot to a lot of people. An awful lot to a lot of people out there, and it's always very sad when we lose someone like Anthony. Just another watch nerd. Hope you're all well. Rest in peace, Anthony Head. Yeah, absolutely. I recall Anthony in those coffee ads before Buffy. Yeah, Yeah. It's actually really fascinating to see how many actors started out in adverts. Yeah. And also really telling of the times that a lot of actors that appear in adverts aren't actually getting gigs outside of the advert scope. Certainly not to the degree that they used to. um, So, just a little bit about Anthony Stubbethead. He was born on February 20th, 1954 in Camden Town, North London. I've been to Camden. It's not the nicest place anymore, to be perfectly honest with you. He grew up in Hanton, near the Richmond upon Thames in London. He's the youngest son of Seafield Head, a documentary filmmaker, and Helen Shingler, an actress. He's an accomplished singer, and I believe they used a photo of Anthony from his band days in Buffy, which I thought was really cool. Really cool. It's nice when they do that. So yeah, Gooner, I agree. I agree with Stephen. It's definitely a good investment of your time watching Buffy. It's a good show. Yeah, Anthony was also a good singer. Yeah, which was shown in the episode Once More We're Feeling. Yeah. The Once More We're Feeling is we're not quite there yet with the lad. So we'll get there. We've just finished watching. The Body. Yeah, season 5 episode, and wasn't a dry eye in the house or in the living room as we were watching that. That kind of left us all bummed. We did warn the lad. We warned Mini DM that of sort of what was coming in. The episode before it sets it up anyway. But that episode, I think, is probably one of the greatest examples of what you can do with the media of film. Release the reason for death. Complications from pneumonia. Yeah. See, pneumonia is a big one. It takes you certainly in later life. It's a horrible thing. So just awful. But yes, The Body is a great example of what you can do with the media of film. And I remember watching the special features and listening to the commentary, and there was there was no musical scoring throughout the episode, and that was intentional because Joss Whedon said that he didn't want to give the audience a chance to breathe, a chance to sort of let them off the grief that was happening on screen, and that was powerful. I won't go into too much detail because there's some people out there still haven't seen it, but we obviously will be getting into some details at some point, I imagine. What a shame. 72 is no age these days. No, you're absolutely right. It isn't. And he looked good. Yeah. He looked a lot older than the last time I'd seen him. But such is life, right? You age. What's The Body about? It's an episode of Buffy, so I won't go into too much detail if you haven't seen it, Gooner. It's probably one of the most uncomfortable episodes of any television show you're likely to watch, and it is heavily it's a heavily emotional episode of a television show of Buffy, and I don't think it was actually matched after that. Yeah, best not to spoil it. You'll understand when you get to it. Yeah, and it's a tough one. It's a tough one to get through, but when you've watched it, you can see and feel and live the experience with these characters. Yeah, I thought it was a series. Yeah, it's not. And again with Discord, I put it in the Discord that we were watching the body. I don't know whether I was clear enough, but a superb performance from everybody in that episode. Superb performance. But yeah, it's been a rough time. It's been a rough time for Buffy fans and for Buffy as a show. We've lost a few, and we obviously lost a few from Angel as well over the years, and actors that have died far too young. Andy Hallett from Angel, and Glenn Quinn. So we've lost a lot. And it's unfortunate, and it's the same with a lot of other shows out there. and these actors, and certainly Anthony Head himself, they were there to perform. They gave a performance, and it showed. It showed, and as viewers, we were invested in what they had to offer. On this channel, we've said that a lot of the time we don't really care what the actor thinks or says. We certainly have that response to some of the more negative stuff that we hear actors come out with. But Anthony Head was a true gent to everybody. The Rocco, Michelle Trachtenberg, way too young, only a couple of years younger than myself. And that one was a big shock, because again, you don't expect it from someone so young. You don't expect someone so young to be gone so soon. And it's obviously tragic when it happens, and you feel a connection to these people through the characters that they have portrayed. And did any of you guys meet him? No, I saw interviews with him. I've seen other people meet him, and I was extremely jealous, of course, because but happy for them. I've never met him, and I think that's a shame. I'd love to have met him. Just wasn't on the cards, I guess. And I suppose with growing up, I watched so many shows. I watched Red Dwarf, and I got to meet Chris Barry, and even Chris Barry is now he's a lot older than he used to be, and it gives you this feeling, this realization of your own mortality in that sense, because you see so many people aging around you. And it's strange, isn't it, that when you see people day to day, you don't notice the changes, because the changes aren't big because you're seeing them every day. But when you don't see someone for a few years, and then you run into them in the street, or you meet up for a drink, and they've got a sizable number of extra grey hairs on their head and in their beard, such as myself. I've got grey hairs in my beard because I'm getting older, and we don't notice it. We just don't notice it, and it's a bigger shock, I think. I remember, someone I worked with for 8 years passed away earlier this year, and that was a big shock. I hadn't seen him in the last 3 years, and yeah, he passed away. And it's surprising, really, that you don't notice the subtle changes. It's somewhat sobering to meet actors like that. It makes you realise you're getting older as well. Yeah, exactly what I'm saying. Watch Nerd. It's a reminder that the clock is ticking, and then it's what you make of that clock ticking and what you do with it that matters going forward. It's Gooner said that 72 is no age these days. It's a good amount of years. It's a good amount of years, but it still feels too young. As you say, it was very noticeable when I met Connor Trenier and Dominic Keating in 2024. It was weird to see them looking so much older. Yeah, and Connor Trenier, he's all grey. He's got this big bushy grey beard, and I think he looks absolutely superb. I'm not gonna lie. The man looks good for his age. But then you think you automatically think of Scott Bakula, and he's in his 70s, and he looks like he's in his 70s. And we were watching Enterprise earlier, because the kids now, I'm so proud of them, they now say, can we watch Star Trek? And it's like, yes, you can. I'm never going to say no to that. And you see Scott Bakula on screen, and he looks so young. And you see him now, and you realise Enterprise was 20 years ago. Enterprise has been finished for over 20 years. And I mean, I met both Connor Trenier and Dominic Keating in 2014, I think it was, and they still looked back then as useful as they did. It was only obviously 10 years after the show ended, and they still looked pretty youthful, both of them. And Dominic Keating was actually in Buffy, by the way. He was in an episode of Buffy. Played a minion of the Watchers Council. But now, yeah, you look at all the stars, and certainly around our age, guys. And I think Gooner is a little bit older than me, but not by much. I think around our age, you start seeing all your childhood heroes are old, and you look at the likes of Arnold Schwarzenegger. So Arnold is obviously I believe he's in his 70s now, and the likes of Bruce Willis, good old Bruce Willis, bless him, obviously not having the best time of it, suffering with dementia. People are getting old, and we're getting old, and it does make you very aware of the passage of time. Very, very much aware. It's very, very emotional. A little bit, why not? I'll just reel off a little bit of trivia in these quiet moments of reflection. So, although he played Giles with an upper-class British accent, his real accent is much more North London, and it's so weird, yeah, because you hear him speak, and it's like, he's not this well, actually. He's very sort of, you can hear the Camden, and you can hear the North London in his voice. He got used to it, he got to use it in the episode Band Candy. Yeah, we all remember Band Candy, those of us who have watched it. Huge fan of Doctor Who, he was. Auditioned for the role of the 8th Doctor in the TV movie Doctor Who 1996. I believe that ended up being Paul McGann. As long as they didn't say we can watch new Trek? Yeah. No, I believe they had just on your note, Gooner. I believe they had Rick Berman on, and someone else. I can't remember off the top of my head. They had them on the podcast, and I don't think they spoke very highly of new Star Trek. I read this the other day, funny enough, that his home in Somerset, which he shared with his wife, who passed away last year, Daisy, and his daughters Daisy and Emily, was used for filming some of the episodes in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It was, yeah. After his musical performance in Once More with Feeling, he teamed up with artist George Serra to create the album Music for Elevators, which was released on February 5th, 2002. Hey, James Masters based his accent of his character Spike on Head's real life accent. I can 100% believe that. He played Dr. Frankenfurter in a London stage production of the Rocky Horror Show. It was never really my cup of tea, the Rocky Horror Show, but seriously, Nescafe Gold Blend ad for coffee adverts, yeah, in the UK in the 1980s. The adverts were re-edited for broadcast where the coffee is known as Taster's Choice. Didn't know that. Stephen Bromby, I've decided I'm going to do a rewatch of Buffy, just cause, and to remember some of the Giles' best moments. And they were not few and far between, the Giles' best moments. They were absolutely fantastic. All of his moments were brilliant. He had this really, really contagious laugh, kind of like the wheezy laugh. It was so good, so good. James Masters put a lovely tribute to Tony on his Instagram. Respect, yeah, much respect. James Masters, another true gent from Buffy. Was originally cast in Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street, as a ghost of one of Sweeney Todd's victims. The character would have sung the Ballad of Sweeney Todd. It reprises and the epilogue. Songs were recorded but eventually cut before filming began, as director Tim Burton felt the songs were too theatrical for the film. Fair enough. It was his film. Who is named number 5 of the top sexiest men of the Buffy Angel universe in a fan poll by Buffy the Vampire Slayer fanzine. Wait. So yeah, there's a moment in Buffy, and I won't mention it, but those who have seen it know, where some of the characters see him playing the guitar, and they just absolutely melt. And funny enough, it has the same effect on the wife. And he just screams. He just screams class that in that moment. He attended the London Academy of Music and Dramatic Arts. Grew up in Hampton. Divided his time between homes in Los Angeles and England. Yeah, I saw an interview with him where he said he at one point he was commuting to the States to work and living in England, and then he was living in America, commuting home to see his family. And that's that. The life of an actor, it's kind of mixed, isn't it? Because the amount of commuting you have to do, the long hours, and I believe Kate Mulgrew spoke about this in the Five Captains documentary, where she said they were working 18, sometimes 20 hours a day, and she barely ever saw her kids. Guys, I'm going to drop off, so please discuss the show openly if everyone in the chat has seen it. Appreciate that, Gooner, but if you'd like to join at any point, please just send me a WhatsApp, let me know, and you can come in. That's absolutely fine. We won't go into spoiler territory or anything like that. But if you guys want to have an open conversation about Buffy for a little bit while Gooner's gone, then you just let me know in the chat, and we'll go into a full Buffy-thon. If you want to just have an open chat, that's absolutely fine as well. This is very informal setting, so. He played characters named Rupert on 3 different shows: Rupert Giles and Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Rupert Thorne, Amazon Prime's Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan. Okay, he played. I think we've been watching that, or we watched the latest film that came out, and it wasn't exactly exciting us. See you all soon. Take care, everyone. Gooner, much love to you, my friend. It's always a pleasure to have you here. You know that. Musical talent was showcased early in his career for 2 Christmas seasons he appeared as Joseph in Joseph and his amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat at the Everyman Theatre in Cheltenham in the late 1970s. Wow. Appearing at the Savoy Theatre at London as Captain Hook in Peter Pan and the Pirate King, in the Pirates of Penzance, from the 15th of December 2003 to March 2004. Attending Collectomania 7 at Milton Keynes and attending a UK premiere of Kingdom of Heaven in London. Collectomania, that's what we went to, Watch Nerd. I believe. I don't know what date it was, but it was well before I knew what Collectomania was. So, quotes. We used to hang out at Joss Whedon's place, Sunday nights and do Shakespeare readings. I got to do my Richard III recently. Then we'd have a few tequilas, sit around the piano and sing. I talked to Josh years ago about doing a Buffy musical. And then, finally, in the summer, he sat down and wrote Once More with Feeling. He's taken an inaccessible area of musicals, while does everyone keep singing, and turned it into his advantage. It's the answer to Hush, yeah. Season 4 spellbinding silent episode where nobody could talk. I remember that one. Collectomania was pretty sweet. Watch Nerd, you're absolutely right. So he says, I think Giles likes Buffy, but she annoys him. The mere fact that she doesn't want the job that he's offering her, she frustrates him. She represents everything he doesn't understand. Ultimately, he becomes extremely fond of her. People have said, what is it? A father-daughter relationship? And it's not quite. There's nothing like it on TV. It's difficult to pigeonhole. He becomes extremely fond of her and gets into all sorts of terrible trouble because of it. Xander is a complete anathema to him, a great annoyance because he never seems to take anything seriously. Cordelia is, who knows where she's coming from. Willow he respects greatly, but it's all it's all a confusion to him. He's never really sure of anybody or anything. The only thing he's sure about is what he's supposed to do. What a great understanding. When asked the question in a nutshell, what's your philosophy? Don't fall back on the parachute, the safety net. Go outside the zone of confidence and find out what's on the other side. Wow. He says, I have a very open mind. I believe that there's a spirit world. I believe there's a lot of stuff out there that we don't know about. We don't want to understand, and sometimes we don't understand it, and sometimes we don't want to understand it. Kind of profound. Somerset has a wonderful wildness about it. It hasn't been tamed. This is farming country, and there's a realness there. Yeah. I do like Somerset. It's been slightly marred in recent years, but yeah. Wow. it's saddening stuff, isn't it? Really, it's saddening stuff. Again, you know, you can see you can see him every day in a television show. As much as you can look at photos of people long past, and you can miss them, and he will be sorely missed, sorely missed. So yeah, I mean, we can talk a little bit about Buffy. If you're in the Discord and you want to join and talk about Buffy, then please do. Otherwise, it's just going to be me prattling on. If that's okay with you, then absolutely fine. Like I say, I got into Buffy when it first aired on BBC Two over here in the UK. Thought, what's this? What's this crazy looking show about vampires? Oh look, there's a girl kicking the backside off of all these vampires. And it had a pretty neat cast of characters. They were all very young. Okay, the actors weren't as young as the characters that they were portraying, but they were all, you know, they were all my age at the time, and I was pretty hooked because, well, it was Sarah Michelle Gellar. May have been a reason for that, but also Alison Hannigan was my major crush of Buffy. There was just something about her I really I really liked her, and I'm fairly certain she ended up marrying the actress ended up marrying the actor that portrayed Wesley, if I'm not too much mistaken, Alexis Denisov or Denisov. I'm sure they got married, but yeah, there was a great group of characters, kind of relatable for the age that I started watching it. And it had that 90s charm once again about it. It was the effects in the first season were obviously quite poor, but it didn't matter because the stories were good. You know, it was the era of the quippy one-liners, the comebacks, you know, and the great dialogue that people the characters had in that show. And you know, Joss Whedon, it was the beginning of greatness for Joss Whedon. She did marry Wesley, I felt as, and yeah, I had such a crush on Alison Hannigan for sure. Yeah, there's a picture. I've got a picture, a tasteful picture of her in some lingerie, and I still have that. I still have that picture. It was until recently up on my wall. It got replaced by one of my old man's display swords, but she's still up there, you know, and she's still looking mighty fine, and she still looks mighty fine nowadays, to be fair. But yeah, Willow was a big crush of mine. I was never much into blondes, to be fair. It was the redheads that caught me, and then spoiler, by the way, if anyone's not wanting to know anything about the show, if you've not watched the show, I'm calling spoiler alert because I will be talking about several different episodes as I go along. But the episode where the reality has been changed and she's a vampire, it was like that outfit, man. That outfit. Boy, did that get me through some years. Julie Benz as Darla was the first vampire in the show. That's right, yeah. They broke into the school, if I remember correctly. They broke into the school, and it was the old bait and switch, wasn't it? That and it's the first indication that this show was going to be something a little bit different, as it looked like the guy was going to be the vampire, and then surprise, shock, horror, it was Julie Benz. And she's gone on to have a great career as well, and still looks good to this day. Bless her. I remember her being in the second Boondock Saints movie, and she was pretty good in that too. So hats off to Julie Benz there. And you know, we lost Nicholas Brendan a few months back, and a lot of people didn't like Xander. I sort of kind of related to Xander because Xander was, there were elements of Xander that was very much me when I was that age. Stephen Brumby, to be fair, DM Willow as a vamp got a lot of us through life in an uplifting way. Yeah, we spent a lot of time camping on that one, I can imagine. Yeah, that was good stuff. That was good stuff. But yeah, Xander character was me. I was goofy. Didn't take life too seriously. I was quite sarcastic. Willow, oh look at those! Yeah, oh look at those! It's almost like they'd never been pushed up that high before. Yeah, that's good. That was good. If anyone, by the way, is not already in part of the Discord, just hit the link in the description. The Discord link is live. You can join the Discord. Just pop your head in. It's a relatively easy thing to figure out. Discord. It looks complicated. It's not. I didn't know what the hell Discord was a couple of years back, and then I discovered it, added a little bit of a tinker, and I've got my own server on there. So everybody comes in and has a chat. So please join the Discord if you haven't already. Xander was the guy I wanted to be, smart and quippy, but I was bookish and introverted in real life. Yeah, well, yeah, I can relate to that. I was very introvert in my mid-teens, should I say. Very introvert. I didn't really like going out anywhere, doing anything. I was indoors a lot with my PlayStation. It explains my skin complexion, why I'm so pale. I'm sort of averse to sunshine. Yeah, I remember spending an entire summer when I left school, just sitting playing my PlayStation. And my mum essentially kicked me out of the house and got me straight into a job after that. So I didn't really want to go out and do anything. But Xander was, I was just goofy. I was just cracking jokes, and you know, had that that kind of sense of humour. So I related to Xander quite a bit. And then, of course, you know, you had Charisma Carpenter as Cordelia, and she was this brash, popular, kind of mean girl. You know, she was. It's certainly in my viewing history, she was the mean girl, the first mean girl I'd sort of ran into that I could remember. In episode Hush, Giles doing the overhead projector scene with the slides was so funny. Yeah, Rocco, you're absolutely right. That was hilarious and so well executed by everyone in that auditorium. So well executed. Does my mic sound better than usual? Because this is a new mic, and if it doesn't sound as good or it sounds worse, then obviously I'm going to have to do some tinkering. But just wanted to check the sound there, just to make sure that it does actually sound okay. Because there's quite a posh set of lavaliers. Yeah, so yeah, and I think Charisma Carpenter, she's not what I would say the world's most talented actress, but she pulled off Cordelia Chase very well. She played that role really well. It came naturally to her. You could certainly tell. And it's really funny, to be fair, because the Cordelia was Cordelia as a character was Buffy before she was activated as a Slayer. You know, and they showed that in one of the episodes. I'm going to sit back and take my earphones out. If anyone comes into the Discord, I'll keep an eye on that. So just bear with me one sec. So yeah, we saw Buffy as a version of Cordelia. So wasn't a fan of Cordy when she was on Buffy, but when she got to Angel, I really started to like her so much more. Yeah, well, she grew as a character, didn't she, Stephen? She grew. It's sort of like the popular girl whose father's got the rich father, rich daddy, and she it's very limiting because you can't learn anything about life in those circumstances because everything's just handed to you on a plate. Everyone else who isn't as cool as you are beneath you. And it gives you that social permission to be as nasty as you want. I watched Buffy and Angel, but more casually than you, I suspect. My sister was very much a fan, though. Yeah, and I think it's worth a second watch. Watch Nerd. I think it's one of those shows that I mean I must have watched Buffy and Angel all the way through at least 6 times. And it's great. Absolutely love it. And then, of course, you have the father figure of the group. You have Giles. And Giles, I never like, and I still don't to this day, the stereotypical British mannerisms and behaviour that American TV portrays. Oh yes, I think I'm going to have a cup of tea and a scone and talk and read the newspaper, and then we're going to go down to the green and play some bowling, some bowls. Let's go and crochet. Let's crochet. That never sat well with me. Because a lot of British people don't talk like that. It's only the very posh areas. But there's a lot of people in this country who, a lot of different accents. A lot of different ways to speak. So Giles being the stuffy Brit in the tweed jacket. The only thing missing, I think, with Giles was a flat cap to really round the stereotype off. That didn't sit particularly well with me. But Giles as a character, I find much more relatable now that I'm older. Both her and Wesley had such great development as characters in Angel. Oh God, yeah. And I won't go into too much detail in case about Angel. If the lad's watching, you might want to turn off. I don't think they are, but if they are watching, I know the wife was in earlier. But yeah, we're talking spoilers for just in case the wife's in. You might want to vacate, and we're going to be so very spiffing while we do it, old chap. Yeah, exactly. And it's all across American TV. They see us as these tea drinking, scone eating. I do believe I will have my tea and cream and scones out on the balcony. It's not with a lot of British people aren't like that. We're not stuffy. I'm trying to avoid spoilers for those who haven't watched it. Well, let's be fair. It's a fairly low view stream, Steve. If I can call you Steve, it's not. At the end of the day, we are talking about a show that is, my God, probably 30, approaching 30 years old now. And if people haven't watched it, then we'll keep reminding them throughout the stream. But by all means, we're talking about it, so let's talk about it. So yeah, the character of Giles, his demeanor didn't sit well with me. But like I said, now I've gotten older, I see more of myself in Giles than any of the other characters. Now I don't wear tweed jackets and such, although I am thinking of getting a flat cap, because I always like the look of a flat cap. 90 shows are more than 30 years old. Yes, always boggles my brain with DS9. Oh God, this shows are so old. It's crazy. Don't mind being called Steve. I've been called a lot worse in my life, to be fair. Yeah, well, you know, for those who don't know, my name is actually Richard. So you can imagine how it's been twisted into other things. I don't know how that name ever came about, by the way, the other name for Richard, but I don't know whether it's an American thing or not. Yeah. So yeah, I see a lot of myself in Giles now, and you know his lack of understanding of the youth. I share that. I don't understand the youth of today, and my kids are not what you'd call stereotypical youth of this generation. I've raised them to be a little bit different. I think. I hope. You know, you met Mini DM, my step lad on the stream a few weeks back. Hopefully, you know, it wasn't too painful for anybody. He loved doing that. By the way, I'm thinking of doing that again. I'm definitely thinking of doing that again because he loved it and I had a lot of fun. It didn't get a lot of views, but who cares? Yeah, so Giles, he's confounded by a lot of the quippy teen speak and the references and all of that sort of stuff. But the character of Giles grew so much throughout Buffy, and you got to see. I love the fact that they gave his character a darker past, a darker history. With the Ripper days, you know, and you know, it shares a few parallels with the story of Jean-Luc Picard in that sense. That Jean-Luc Picard was this rough and ready young man who would always be up for a fight, who would always he was reckless in his youth, and it took one sobering moment to change his life, so he becomes a responsible individual, a grown-up. It's a very maturing experience for him, and I feel that Giles' character had the same thing in his youth. He was rebellious, you know, raising Igon and going into magics and witchcraft. You can also see the foundations being laid there for his later years as a Watcher, because he'd already had some field experience with the magics and stuff like that. So I like that they gave his character some depth. So Stephen says, I love that Giles went from the bumbling British guy to a total badass father figure character to Buffy. I'd like to test that theory as one of my favourite lines. Yeah, absolutely, I agree with that. Yeah, I think it was contrasting really when Wesley came into the show. It was a wonderful contrast, that was, because that showed a young Giles but Giles in the first season, a young Giles from the first season. And you were able to see that parallel between Wesley and Giles and see just how much Giles had grown, rather than and I think Wesley is a little bit more cowardly in his earlier appearances than Giles was at the beginning of Buffy, but but Giles, there was always a joke. He was always getting knocked out. He was always or being rendered unconscious. And then season 3, certainly when he's captured by what's the name of the demon? Balthazar, I think it's called. It's the big sort of looks like the Blade, big obese vampire. And he when he gets used with the sword, and I feel that when he's training with Buffy, he's getting as much out of the training as she is. Giles, the Next Generation, says, yeah. He had that posh name, Wesley Wyndham Price. Yeah, and Alexis Denisov, he's actually American, and that threw me. Same as Spike, same as James Masters, absolutely threw me because their British accents are so good. So Giles' character really grew in season 3, and he. And I think Wesley went through the same transformation, right? Wesley got hardened in a very different way. And it was whilst bumbling, accident-prone Wesley was immensely funny. I love where they took his character. But season 1 of Buffy, then season 1 of Buffy is. It's a season of television. It's not the highest quality of television show you're ever going to see. That first season is quite difficult to get through in the modern sense. I could watch it easily, and I did. We started Buffy earlier this year with the lad, and there were times that we've completely binged it. We've been doing 4 or 5 episodes a night. And the first season, he found some of it quite funny, and not in a haha that was funny what they said kind of way. It was very much the effects, the practical effects and everything. They did it on a shoestring budget. And I'm very forgiving of that because it was great when I watched it, and it hasn't for me declined in quality at all. The only difference is now, because I believe it was filmed in widescreen but presented in 4.3, the aspect ratio of the DVDs is automatically set to widescreen, so you can see all the booms and mics and stuff that are supposed to be out of view. And the other thing I said to the wife that I noticed recently was the fact that you can always tell when the stunt double's there, whereas before your suspension of disbelief made you miss it. You rewatch it enough times, you can see all the stunt people, and the fact that it's not Sarah Michelle Gellar doing all that, doing a good majority of that work. But that's quirky, right? It's just it's I think it's endearing to notice those little flaws. And the same happened with the Next Generation when that got cleaned up into HD. I believe that was all filmed in 4.3, but I think it's 4.3. When it got upscaled to HD, you saw all the tape on the floor and the sets were falling apart, and it was really quite amusing. Really quite amusing. There are a lot of they shot the first 2 seasons on 16mm film stock, and season 3 they upgraded to 35mm film. The difference in film quality is very noticeable. Yeah, it is. It's got the first 2 seasons. I'd say season 2 less than, but season 1 definitely had that Deep Space Nine grain to it, didn't it? The HD release of Buffy was terribly done. Yeah, mishandled. It's time. All that time I've been saying, you know, that the British are not just typical tea drinking, scone eating, you know, pompous fools. I'm actually going to have a sip of tea because I love a cup of tea with a stream. I'm like the critical drinker, but with tea. I love tea. It's very hot though because it's in a flask. It's always in a flask. Oh, that burnt me lips. Fucking hell, that's like lava. Which every cup of tea, every good cup of tea has to be like lava. So yeah, season one, rough around the edges. The music was at times very 70s pornish, I suppose. But it was easily forgiven. The show was good enough for me. And season 2, I believe midway through season 2, you see that noticeable spike in quality. No pun intended. The introduction of Spike, I think, was a truly superb idea. And the fact that they were going to make him a throwaway villain and then people liked him, so they kept him on and then brought him back several times. I think that was brilliant. But the characters in season 2, everything got dialed up a little bit. And with the turning of Angel to Angelus, yeah, season 2 was Angelus, yeah. With the turning of from Angel to Angelus, added that extra layer that was it was pretty strong. It was pretty powerful for the show, I found. It was where the show stepped it up, and when it killed off certain recurring characters in quite shocking ways, shocking moments, I thought that was superb. And when they did it in Angel, I was quite upset and angry at the season 1 shock. I wasn't very happy with it, but what they then went on to do with the other character was very good. But the ending of season 2 of Buffy was that it was very powerful stuff. I mean, I'm a big soppy bastard at times. I'm a big softy when it comes to stuff like this, and I really enjoy that side of the show. And it's got everything that you could want from an entertaining show. It's got humor, it's got action, it's got pretty ladies, and it's got attractive men, and it's got that it's got something for everybody. I think the show has, and I absolutely love it, and I love talking about it because there's so many great moments in the 2 shows. Angel, I think, went in a different direction than Buffy, and for the most part it worked. There were things about Angel that I didn't like. I think the Connor storyline I could have done without, to be fair, but I always thought the endings of season 2 and season 5 were the strongest capstones to the season on Buffy. Was strongest finales, you mean? I mean, yeah, I agree there, mate, because season 2 was a rough. It was a raw deal, wasn't it? It was a real raw deal. And then season 5 was supposed to be the end of Buffy, if I remember correctly. And then they kept it on for two more seasons. But yeah, I agree. They're this. Yeah, I agree. They are the strongest two. Because season 1 was its own little ending, finishing off the villain for the season. And season 3 was again just finishing off the villain of the season, so evolving the kids. The kids mature and go off to college. And season 4, which people had a lot of mixed feelings about. I enjoyed season 4. I think they had a lot of fun with season 4. They experimented with a lot of different things in season 4. But season 4's finale was anticlimactic because they actually, it felt like an episode that was literally tacked on to the back of the season, where the penultimate episode was the season finale, with the monster of the season sort of taken care of in that sense. And then season 6 again was just monster of the season. And season 7 they tried to do the ultimate big bad monster, and it sort of I don't know. I need to give season 7 some thought. What we're thinking. Season 4 was with the Initiative and the Frankenstein demon. Yeah, Adam. Yeah, the Adam demon. Interesting concept. But I don't think Adam was a particularly strong enough bad guy to be a seasoned bad guy. I think maybe it would have been better to have Buffy go up against the Initiative itself. Whereas rather than fighting commandos, she's fighting like a special forces demon unit or something, with a I don't know, a government agent leader, rather than it just be one Frankenstein demon. I thought Adam was quite amusing at times. He was a good villain, but I don't think he was strong enough to be a seasoned villain. And some of the best episodes were in season 4. Hush was obviously one of the best. It won awards, that did, and an unfortunate link to New Trek, but the actor himself, I bear no ill will to. He's an absolute legend in the film and television industry. Doug Jones. Doug Jones actually plays one of the Hush demons, which isn't unsurprising because Doug Jones is he is in some respects, he's very much like oh my god, what's his name? The Gollum actor. Fucking hell. My mind goes blank sometimes, but he's very much like that. He will play certain roles that kind of like this, kind of like Slender Man roles, because he's so tall and slender, and he's very good at doing what he does. So yeah, he was one of the. Andy Serkis, thank you very much. That's it's good to have you guys around as my my backup memory. It was on the tip of my tongue as well, Andy Serkis. Yeah. So yeah, he's a good mocap actor, obviously. But yeah, season 4 had some of the finest episodes. I love the fear demon. The fear demon in the frat house was hilarious because nobody was expecting that at the end, for him to be this tiny little demon that can be stomped out and just sneak someone's foot. It was highly amusing. And he's like, fear me, for I'm the thing of your nightmares. And we're all looking down at him, and he's just tiny. He's about the size of a fucking bobblehead. It's so funny. But obviously, the episode itself for the time was it was quite hardcore in its presentation. It's funny. There's loads in season 4 that I could go through. And I think Riley being the season boyfriend of Buffy, Riley was just a big dork. I loved it. The Fear Demon reminds me much of. Oh, sorry, I'm having trouble reading. Of the Volus from Mass Effect. Yeah, that episode was brilliant. That little Fear Demon, and when he no, not chanting. When Xander's like mocking him. He's a good little fear demon. And then Giles says, Xander, don't mock the fear demon. He's like, why? Can he hurt me? No, it's just tacky. I loved that moment. Brilliant. And again, Anthony had a fantastic performance in almost every episode of Buffy that he's in. He steals the show. Fear me, lesser creature, for I am a biotic god. You know what? I'm just going to very quickly. I'm just going to increase the resolution on my television screen so I can actually read the comments, because I'm quite far back from it. Nothing but a professional operation here. Oh, danger man, it appears as if you had not set your aspect ratio properly. Display settings. There we go. Let's get some zoom on, shall we? Oh yes, that's much better. I'm much more able to read the screen now with my old eyes. Yes. Let's make all this a lot bigger. Oh, that's loads better. Now I can actually see how many views I'm getting. Maybe I should shrink it down again, because I'm not getting many views on this stream. I really do appreciate the people that are here, though. That's really nice. I know I'm getting old when I practically need a telescope to read certain things sometimes. Yeah, mate, I'll take my glasses off. I'm not reading. I'm not reading anything. It's all a blur to me. It's amazing how bad my eyes are now. That's why my video edits are so crap. Oh. Fear me, lesser creatures, for I am a biotic god. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And you know, lot of decent extra characters in Buffy. I always liked Oz. Oz was brilliant as well. Oz was just that cool, calm character that, you know, very rarely got angry. When he did, it was kind of like this silent anger. Spot on. And the fact that, you know, Seth Green's so good at playing him. Seth Green's just he's just class, absolute class. And of course, at the same time, he was doing the Austin Powers films, and then he started Robot Chicken. God, Robot Chicken, amazing. Liked Anya, the Vengeance Demon. So she first appeared in the episode called The Wish, I believe. Because she's actually, we must now raise a toast, raise a glass to Anya for introducing us to Vampire Willow. Because the episode is that she grants a wish to Cordelia after Cordelia's very badly hurt by Xander. And yes, she alters reality because Cordelia says a wish that Buffy summons had never come to Sunnydale. And of course, that just means it becomes completely vampire central. And because it's on the Hellmouth, the Master escapes, or escaped, got out of his prison, got to the surface, and all hell broke loose. And a lot of people died, and became vampires. Willow and Xander were two of them, and she was, I think, again another throwaway character that they decided to bring back, and she became the replacement for Cordelia, but instead of being unnecessarily cruel like Cordelia could be, there was almost an innocence to Anya because she was fairly new to the whole mortal coil once she lost her powers. She wasn't, okay, she used to be human all those years ago, but she's almost discovering her humanity in a very cold, dry way, and it's really quite funny because the thing she says out of genuine confusion a lot of the time because she just doesn't understand the way that people act because she's been so used to being on her own and just enacting vengeance and not having to truly socialize with anyone. And it cracks me up because she has a friend who's also a vengeance demon that's also tied to the Scooby Gang, which is because it was the same actress that they brought in. So before Spike became Spike, he was William Pratt, a poet. I believe his last name was Pratt. And he was chasing after a girl called Cecily or Cecilia, or I think it's Cecily. And she like rejects him and just in this awful rejection scene. It's like, yeah, you ain't getting in my pants, mate, because you are so far beneath me. It's never going to happen, so forget about it. And he's heartbroken, gets made into a vampire. At some point, that Cecily character becomes a vengeance demon, but you don't find that out until much later on when she's actually having she comes back to Anya, and there's this moment between Cecily and Spike, winning the bloody, because his poetry was so bloody awful, it made me want to drive a railroad spike through my head. And yeah, there was this there's this little exchange between them where she goes, William, and he realizes who she is, and he says, "Oh, it was hilarious." It was so cleverly written in because they just brought the actress back to be a vengeance demon, and so they just put two and two together, I guess, with that one. Yeah, brilliant. I'm digressing an awful lot, but it's so easy to talk about because it's a great show. It's a great show. But yeah, Anya, the Anya character was. I just love that she loves capitalism so much, and she just it's great because people come here and give me money in exchange for goods and services. It's like, yes, that's how the world works. But again, there's that innocence because she would not have used those kind of barter systems. She wouldn't have used the capitalistic system. She was a vengeance demon. People wished things to happen, and she made that possible. But with Cordelia going to LA and then moving over to the Angel show, Buffy was missing that crassness, that tactless approach, and Anya was the replacement for Cordelia. The other Slayer, Faith Eliza Dushku, was also awesome. Yeah, Faith. So again, contrasting the two main Slayers. I know that there was Kendra as well, but contrasting the two main Slayers, Buffy and Faith. Buffy, they're both very strong characters and very physically strong as well. But Buffy was only dangerous when she needed to be, like when she needed to be tough, she was tough, but she had a lot of vulnerabilities about her. Whereas Faith's vulnerabilities are quite buried. They're quite well sort of buried within her, and she's more psychotically dangerous, especially when she goes bad. And I always I just think you're sort of glad you're never going to be in a relationship with Faith, because it's just that unpredictability. She was a great character, I think, and that moment in Angel where she breaks just moves me to tears. Absolutely moves me to tears, because she wants him to kill her because she can't live with what she's done and who she is. Just magic moments. Faith was a great character, and it was very clever that the way they brought in more Slayers, with the fact that it's unprecedented that there's more than one Slayer. There's only ever one Slayer, and when one dies, another one is called. The loophole they found or they made there, with the fact that all the Slayers die because the vampires or demons best them and they kill them, and there's no chance of them coming back because they are dead. Whereas Buffy, the Master didn't drain Buffy, and Buffy drowned, and Xander brought her back to life. She came back to life, and she's still the Slayer. But what that did is activated another Slayer. So yeah, it's a great little loophole there, and it gave the rise to the chance to bring Kendra into it. Now, when she popped her clogs, thank you, no thank you, Drusilla. Faith was activated, and they took the contrast in Slayers. They took that to the next level, and Faith became this monster. And you got to see what, and I like Wesley's line. Oh no, was it Wesley or Giles's line? I can't think of anything more dangerous than a rogue Slayer. And if you think about it, you can think of nothing more dangerous than a rogue Slayer, because you've got someone with all that power using it for evil. was Wesley says, using it for evil. You know. And Wesley being so inexperienced and pompous and up his own backside, especially, you know, when he introduces himself to the gang and he's putting thinks he's putting Giles in his place. His inexperience in actions actually sends Faith further off the rails, like warm champagne. But then she says she won't do that because it's bad. Yeah, the other side of Faith. Yeah, yeah, and I think it's interesting to see her sort of when she does come back in Angel, and she's put herself and she's abiding by the rules. She's put herself away, and allowing her basically allowing herself to be incarcerated and stay there because she has to walk the path of redemption. And her arc after that, and then consequently returning to Buffy, is brilliant. I love Buffy's reaction there. It's just like, Faith, and it's that acceptance that Buffy's up against this incredibly ancient, all-powerful evil, and she's got absolutely no time or patience to sort of question Faith's help at all. She just goes, "Hello, Faith." Essentially, welcome to the fight. You know, not like all is forgiven, but all has to be put to one side. I keep jumping here a lot, but it's great to talk about. Yeah, it is a superb show. So well written. It's brilliant. And Faith's character again making and it's she starts feeling that power, the power and the freedom, and she gets a little drunk on power because no one's stopping her. Buffy has a connection with DS9, Armin Shimmerman, as Quark, the school principal. Yeah, Snyder, Principal Snyder. Snyder was funny because he was the principal we never, all of us dreaded getting. The head teacher that we all dreaded getting. And he sort of grew on me a little bit. And especially when he gets one-upped by Buffy and one-upped by the system. And when Giles actually shows a bit of his Ripper side to him and gets Buffy back into school, that was awesome as well. Snyder was a good character, I think. I'm about to be interrupted by one of the offspring, I believe. Just bear with me. I can hear footsteps going down. Oh no, they've realised and they've gone back up. Snyder was a wonderfully priggish character. It was weird seeing Armin Shimmerman out of Ferengi makeup though. Yeah, it was. But Snyder, I mean, Armin Shimmerman had the he gave a lot of Quark's expressions in Buffy, and yeah, it was interesting to see it out of makeup. But again, it shows just how good of an actor he is, that even though he's plastered in all this prosthetic, he can still show his performance through those prosthetics. And I always found that really, really awesome in the world of Star Trek, because these actors were able to do so much with so much of their so much of their tools, the tools that they use, hidden away. I remember Snyder. Yeah. So I always like the Bang Candy episode as well. because he just he's that uncool kid that you just can't get rid of. You know, he's the one that the sort of he's the third wheel a lot of the time. Same with Rene Auberjonois as Odo. Yeah. When in Far Beyond the Stars, when you saw him out of makeup, that was weird. And again, he was able to portray so many different emotions as Odo. Burning myself with my tea. Tea's attacking me. The performances were just brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. Spot on. And again, Rene Auberjonois is gone. Nog's gone. You know, as well, just briefly moving on to DS9 for a moment. Wallace Shawn. Wallace Shawn is brilliant as Grand Nagus Zek. I love Zek. He's fantastic. And again, Wallace Shawn appeared in Young Sheldon, that Big Bang spin-off, which I think is a brilliant show. The old Young Sheldon. Bit of heading into oxymoron territory there, but yeah, the Young Sheldon, the show is a great show, and he's brilliant in that. He plays this professor, and he's absolutely brilliant. Yeah, Zek was fantastic, and I can really make the wife cringe, because when I do my Zek impression, it may overload the mic. It is a little bit close to me, but so it might not be a good idea for me to do the Zek impression, but I can make her cringe. She says, if we're ever doing the business and you are going to Zek, I will divorce you. I would just, sorry, I do sort of threaten it every now and then. You know, just at the end, my dear. You know, just go. Where's my beetle snuff? Oh god, yeah, Zach was brilliant, absolutely brilliant, spot on. Yeah, I think any actor that appeared in Star Trek and Buffy, to be fair, in heavy prosthetics and still able to act and really sell the performance, magic. And speaking of Giles, you know, the episode where he became the Fioral demon, where Ethan Rain turned him into a Fioral demon. It was like the New Man, I think it was called. Brilliant. And again, you know, he was able to act with all these prosthetics on, looking like a demon. That was a great episode. And again, Anthony Head nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. No. Oh, Zeki. Yeah. Now back to Buffy. Principal Snyder. And I like Principal Flutie, the first principal. I liked him because he was. I don't remember the actor's name. I'll probably have to Google it, but he's appeared in so many things. And he was great because he was almost like an American version of Gordon Brittis in some respects. You know, to draw a very vague comparison, he was very Gordon Brittis-ish. He was the Gordon Brittis of principals. he had this kind of warm lovingness about him. He loved the kids. He loved being a principal. And it was sad to see him sort of depart so quickly. But then he was replaced by Snyder, by Omar Shimmerman, and it's brilliant. I think he's brought in the talent show one, isn't he? I'm sure it's the talent show one. And he takes such great pleasure out of making Buffy's life a living hell because he believes her to be a troublemaker. And she never really gets any sort of resolution with him. But it's also there's another layer to it, isn't there? Because he is he knows about the underworld, because he obviously answers to the mayor of Sunnydale, Richard Wilkins III. So you know they're having to cover up a lot of weird occurrences, you know, and it makes sense that the chief of police is in on it, and you know obviously the mayor's in on it. He knows all what's going on because mainly the mayor is the villain for season 3. Spoiler alert. And that it's when in the School Hard episode where he goes, what are we going with this time? The usual gang on PCP. Yep, okay, that makes sense. So that made a lot of sense to me. My phone, my mobile device keeps going off. I believe it's Duolingo telling me off for not doing my lesson today. Learning some Spanish. Yeah. School Hard was a good episode. Sorry for the silence. Just pondering a little bit. You know, when you sort of remember you. It's the thing with any sort of death occurs. There are times when you just remember. It's like you've forgotten. You just remember. Oh bugger, that's happened. Yeah, he let Ripper peek through sometimes. Love the contrast. Yeah. Yeah. When he pinned up Snyder against the filing cabinet and says, "Would you like me to convince you?" It's like, ooh, that's a moment, isn't it? One of Giles's good moments, best moments. That. And Armin Shimmerman. I mean, to be fair, I'd love to meet Armin Shimmerman. It's just brilliant. Just brilliant. And you know, he comes to an unceremonious end at the end of season 3. I thought the mayor was a really good villain, really menacing, because he was like he was obviously a father figure in the end. But the mayor I thought was such a quirky character, really cool. Watch Nerd ran into Armin Shimmerman on the cruise. Really? Oh wow, that's great. I'd love to meet him. I just don't think I'd make it to an event big enough to have him on. To have him as part of it. If he ever comes to an event in this country, I think I'd definitely want to meet him. It's just a shame I'm not going to be able to meet Anthony Head now. Yeah, there's a few people I'd love to meet. I would love to meet William Shatner. I would absolutely love to meet William Shatner. But that I can almost guarantee you that will not happen now. Not a chance. I wouldn't be able to make it to an event big enough to have William Shatner. I'd have to be very lucky walking down the street and bump into him. I did have the opportunity to try and meet Patrick Stewart, but I sort of got put off after Picard. I didn't really want to go and meet him, and it's a shame. That is, it's a real shame. But the Shimmer Man himself, definitely love to meet him. I'd love to meet Wallace Shawn. I'd love to, but you know, I would definitely say fewer years ahead than there are behind on that one. And he's still full of zest, full of energy, but I don't think I'll get the chance to meet him. Sipping my red hot lava tea. It's still hot. This flask is amazing. Season 5 of Buffy is supposed to be its final season. Was a bit different as well, wasn't it? Because the foundations that they laid in season 4 sort of all came apart in season 5. It honestly felt like they were trying to wrap it up in some respects. So obviously, season 4 sets up Buffy in college. It sets up oh god, hold on, my mouse is doing things. Yeah, so it's obviously sets up quite a bit in season 4. She's at college. She gets a boyfriend. You know, Giles is sort of out of work, and sort of struggling to find himself. And then season 5, Buffy, because of what happens halfway through season 5, she doesn't really exist in college much. Yeah, you've got the introduction of Dawn, yeah, and Glory was the big bad. Yeah, so the introduction of Dawn, that was a big turning point. That was hinted at back in season 3, by the way. The introduction of Dawn. I believe it was the Little Miss Muffet line that was Dawn related. And then it was hinted at several times in season 4 as well. But season 4 set a lot of things up that season 5 then just dumped and got rid of. Riley was one of them. And I kind of felt for Riley in a way, because he was constantly, his ego was constantly being bruised, and it wasn't necessarily anybody's real fault. He just, he couldn't tap into that power, and he felt that she didn't actually care for him the same way. It wasn't raw passionate love. It was kind of this safe pedestrian feelings. If season 5 undid a lot of what season 4 set up, but season 5 in itself had some really decent moments. One of which we just watched today, which was just insane. And yeah, again, spoiler alert: the body, the episode "The Body" was it remains to this day one of the most brutal or emotionally battering episodes of television I've ever watched. Okay, and it's a little too close to home with that one, because the nature in the way, and again, spoiler alert if you don't want to know, we're talking about a big spoiler here for this 30-year-old show. Buffy's mum dies in the previous episode. Buffy comes home and sees her mum rather dead on the couch, and the next episode is just a gut punch, an absolute gut punch, because there was no musical score throughout the entire episode. I personally think they should have axed the credits for that episode as well. I believe in the original televised version they didn't have any music in. Don't go with any credits. But there's no musical score throughout the episode. It's all dialogue, all the actors doing that. There's no sort of letting you off emotionally, letting you breathe for a moment with some music, with these moments. And the episode deals with so many different aspects of death and losing somebody. And Buffy's mum suffers an aneurysm. Funny enough, that episode, I believe, aired a year after my mother had an aneurysm. Thankfully, she survived it. But it was, she had a 50-50 chance of pulling through. So that hit very close to home. And it always gets me because I think that's what could have happened. And then it doesn't bear thinking about, really, does it? But you do anyway. And the episode deals, and each of the characters exhibit a different behavior of people who are left behind. And it was particularly emotional because obviously of who we've lost today in the Buffy universe. But it's also just such a visceral experience because it's so true. You know, for example, whenever there's a loss, there's always someone who will ask awkward questions at the wrong time, and that's Anya. There's always someone who doesn't know how to process it, so they just turn to anger. They're angry, you know, and that's Xander. There's always someone who just completely melts down, and that's Dawn. There's always someone who's the grown-up, and that's Giles. You know, there's always someone who is so traumatized, and that's Buffy, sort of going into shock. So each of the characters exhibit a different behavior around loss. And I found that really intelligent. It was one of the most intelligent pieces of writing that I've ever come across. And the fact that it's then compounded by no musical score, no chance for the audience to stop and breathe, you know, take a breath, feel. It's an incredibly difficult episode to get through. It might be easy for some, it might be difficult for others, but I find that one of the most visceral episodes of television. And you know, for Dawn, for example, she is faced with a choice that she's not yet aware of the consequences of towards the end of the episode, where there are two outcomes for Dawn. She can remember her mother from the last time she saw her, which is full of life, full of energy, and that spark in the eye. Or she can go and see her mum and get some conscious or unconscious closure. And I I don't know how many of you have actually seen a lifeless body. I have. I've seen two, in fact, and both have been family members. And I honestly cannot I cannot say with any certainty which one is the lesser of two evils. And I put it that way because it's a horrible thing to have to choose. Now, I made different decisions at different points, losing different people. When I lost my grandma and my stepdad, I saw the bodies. I saw what was left. And with my old man, my dad, my biological dad, my dad, my father, I didn't see him pass. I spent his last few days with him. So the whole family did. But he was on his deathbed for 5 days, and I had to get back to work. I had to try and I think they were just short, and I needed to go back, just to try and take a break, I suppose you could say. And he I made that decision to go back on the Monday morning. It was a Sunday. I made the decision to go back on a Monday morning. I believe that's how it went, or that was the day. And then I went back to work. I was opening up my place of work because I was a key holder. And as I was letting the staff in, I get the call to say he's gone. So I didn't see that. So the last memory I have of my dad is him on his deathbed. But then with my grandma and my stepdad, the last memory I have of them is seeing what's left. And it's a very strange experience, seeing a loved one, a family member, a friend, or even a complete stranger with no spark in their eye and that marble look in their eyes. There's nothing there. So that I can't actually decide which is better, because although there is a sense of closure with seeing that, with saying a last goodbye, there's also that memory that you have of that's the last thing you saw of them. So Dawn faces that, and she sees the body, which again, as a father, is not something I'd want my daughter to see. So it's a very maturing moment for both of those young people. Joyce was a great character, and I think she was a great mom, especially being a single mom. Buffy's dad, I think we can all agree, is a complete douche. Gone and basically gone off and married his secretary. But Joyce was a great character, and I think and Christine Sunderland, she did such a wonderful job in that episode, of just playing lifeless Joyce. And it's not like you see her lifeless and she passes away like in most of the movies and TV shows and stuff, where people pass away and that's the last thing you see of them. Joyce appears in the episode an awful lot. An awful lot. Stephen Bromby says it's a raw episode and doesn't hold your hand. No, exactly, and it doesn't let you off and it doesn't let you breathe. It is constant. and it accurately portrays what I think it accurately portrays what happens. Now, I mean, I have my mum. She's still around, bless her, and I have my stepmom. But all of the rest of my family, aside from my siblings, are gone. Grandparents, great grandparents, they've all gone. My old man, 6 years this year since he passed. So I've seen plenty of death, and it is raw, and the grief is real, and it stays. Sorry, it stays with you for a long time. It's always there, and yeah, that episode was a tough watch. Tough watch. And those clever moments, such clever moments, where your brain does that little bit of trickery to try and cope with the trauma of the event, where it sends you on this extremely quick what if daydream of, oh, she's been saved, oh, she's in the ambulance, oh, she's in the hospital, and saying, oh, thank God, it's a miracle she survived, and then it just cuts viscerally back to, no, she's dead on the floor. And it's that moment of the brain trying to cope with what it's seeing by trying to imagine that miracle that she's not actually passed. Presented for us as the audience as in quite a tragic way, because we know that it's been cut and edited in such a way that we know it's not real. But by the time we realise that, it's poof, straight back to the awfulness of the moment. Such a good episode of television. Yeah, it's horrible to sit through. It's such a good moment. And this is, again, with Joss Whedon, I won't really admit to knowing much about what went on. I don't know the guy, but I do know he's very good at writing, and he writes what he knows, and he experienced all of that. It was very much all Joss Whedon. That was, and he gave something pretty damn special in that episode. It is fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Sorry, I really put the stream down, haven't I? There's not too many people watching, but it's not my usual forte. It's not Star Trek, it's Buffy. It's weird, actually, because people are thinking this is just a Star Trek channel. It's not. It's I just review a lot of Star Trek, but I do like other shows, and Buffy is one of them. Buffy, Angel, Firefly, X-Files, Millennium, obviously all the Star Treks. I've got Twin Peaks somewhere as well. That was a good show. Weird as hell, but a good show. There's a lot of decent shows out there. Buffy was just like one of those special ones that got me through some pretty tough teenage years. You know, being a teenager is not easy. Your body chemistry is changing. Obviously, other things are changing as well, but your chemistry is changing. Your brain chemistry is changing, and it's all confusing. And life's starting to get a little harder. You know, you're approaching the years of adulthood. and responsibility and going to work, and you're losing some of that protection and some of that innocence of your youth. And Buffy came around at the right time because it gave me something to relate to, and it gave that fatherly figure that Anthony had portrayed so beautifully. It gave that fatherly figure. Not that I was absent one, but Buffy did help me understand a few things about emotion, about feeling, about the way I feel about things, and it did to a degree. It did play to that sort of cheesy love stuff. One moment, my phone's going haywire. What's happening? What is it? Awesome stream. Oh, bless you, Watch Nerd. Off to bed. I appreciate you stopping by, Watch Nerd. I really do. Thank you so much for watching, if you're still watching. So I will send you a heart reply and a thank you and a smiley face. There you go. Yes. What was I saying? Yeah, teenage years. Yeah, it got me through my teenage years. So I'm very thankful to Buffy as a show for giving me that, that assistance. Because I was, like I said earlier, I was quite introvert. Season 6 was I'm going through the seasons here. Season 6 was a bit. I think that was a bit more playful. Obviously, you had the music episode. Yeah, and they I think they played around with it a lot more. And it was not the worst season, I don't think. But obviously with Willow turning, I'd say that was a really awesome couple of endings to the episode. To this episode season. I'm getting tired now. And I've been prattling on for 2 hours. How do you guys do it? How do you guys listen to a guy prattling on to himself for 2 hours? It fascinates me. I don't think I'm that interesting. But you guys are great. You guys come by and listen to me prattle on for a long time. So I do appreciate it, of course. I've got a good community going here. I'm not sure I can stream for too much longer. I'll probably give it another half hour. This will be a chance for me to catch up with you guys and how you guys are doing. And if there's any questions you want to ask or any points you want to raise, go right ahead in the chat. Show me in the chat. And just answer me this question: is my audio any better than it has been in the past? Because I really want to know if these mics are working any better. Season 6 was depressing for the characters. Yeah, I can agree with that. Buffy was depressed because she came back to Earth. So depressed. You brought me back. It had its ups and downs. I thought that the trio was really good, but I think we can all agree that Warren is the world's biggest creep. He's such an absolute creep. I don't think anyone likes Warren as a character. He's just such a creep. It's horrible. Jonathan, he's just kind of like a baby. He's very young in the head. And Andrew is just this geek who certain points of his personality again remind me of my youth. You know, that just a complete nerd who didn't really understand a lot about the world and the way it works, and the way and you know, you constantly make up stories. There was the elements of that in my youth as well. You know, not making up stories. There was a bit of gullibility there. You know. So yeah, I thought the trio was really good, but Warren, God, puts me off. Just, and I don't think Danger Wife likes Warren either, at all. Warren is a detestable creature. Oh, don't tell me it's raining outside. I think I hear rain. Maybe I'm hearing stuff. I'm probably hearing stuff. It's going to rain later. England, it's all about the rain. Rain on the Saturday. We're not doing the fire pit tomorrow. Oh my God, it's like rain all next week as well. Our summer came and went before summer even came. It's absolute bonkers. But yeah, that trio and the tricks the things they pull on Buffy was really funny at times. It was good. It was good. But and it's weird. It's funny really as well, because you think they're going to be the main villains of the season, but they're a means to an end. They're a means to make the evil for the season. Crazy. Season 7 was also meh to me. It was all right. It was okay. As a whole, the show was really good. It had its ups and downs. Season 7 had its ups and downs as well. I suppose really I should sort of spend this last half hour having a bit of a chat about the channel, and whatnot. If you haven't already, by the way, seen on my gaming channel, I have a new video out. It's a platinum video. So I platinumed a game called Uncharted, and it was an experiment. Now, YouTube wise, it's failed miserably as a video. Yeah, season 7 with the many slayers. Yeah. It was interesting. That was again just another interesting little loophole. But yeah, I've made a video over on my gaming channel. And it was an experiment. I got this demonically powerful laptop, and I decided I was going to, instead of making these low effort review videos where that I can make in a few hours, I decided I was going to really go for a feature length video, or as much of a feature length as I can make. Feature length in my context. So I started thinking about, and it was just purely for making a video, for the experience of making a video that was long for what I can do, of high enough quality to be enjoyed by a wider audience, and as much detail as I could put into it, and as much post-production as I could do, and I wouldn't release it until I was happy with it. And I finished it last weekend, Sunday last weekend, and I put it onto the gaming channel, which hasn't got anywhere near the following that this channel has got. And it's currently sitting steady at 58 views. 58 views. And I fully expected it to do less than that. But like I said, the view count wasn't necessarily the point. It was to try and prove that I could make that kind of video and put all the graphics in it and the overlays and really experiment with creating that media. So yeah, I finished it. It's an hour and 15 minutes long. I tried to make it as entertaining and keep it as entertaining as possible. So if you do like Platinum videos, head on over to UKDM Gaming. It's literally just UKDM Gaming, and have a look. And if you enjoy it, please share it on any platform that you can, just to try and get a bit of momentum, because I'm going to keep doing these kind of videos, these Platinum videos. In regards to this channel, the channel's not going anywhere. It's staying where it is. I will still do streams like this and speak to all of you. I don't think I'm going to be touching Strange New Worlds. I'm not. I don't want to. I don't want to. And before I managed to talk myself into it, you know, just like a week before, just going, oh, I suppose, come on, then I'll do it. But the last 2 seasons of New Trek, season 3 of Strange New Worlds and season 1 of Shitty Academy, they were a real slog to get through. Like, honestly, at times I physically felt pain sitting there watching this crap. So I don't think I'll be doing Strange New Worlds season 4. And I have very mixed feelings about that. Very, very mixed feelings. Because I'm a completionist. I like to complete things. And if I don't review Strange New Worlds, I'm not going to get my completion trophy, I suppose. But it would be alright if it was a show worth investing in, but it's not. It's not. It's not, because, and neither would season 2 of Academy. We're talking about roughly 26 episodes of New Trek left. And there's no point in investing any time in something that one of the shows has been cancelled. So whatever they've done with season 2, that's it. Yeah. And season 1 was atrocious enough. But also another show that's also been cancelled, because it has, but has, what, 16 episodes left? I just think, what's the point? It's not Star Trek. I've built this channel up over the years, essentially pissing all over New Trek and meeting all you great people. That's why I want to keep the channel alive, but I also want to start moving on from Star Trek a little bit and start reviewing other things. That's why I'm doing this stream on Buffy. It was prompted by, obviously, the news from today. It's okay not to watch Strange New Worlds. It was promising at first, but season 2 and 3 were bad, and it won't get any better. Exactly, the Rocco. It won't get any better. So what's the point? It will literally just be me doing reaction videos with just me being disgusted by what I've seen. I'm not going to enjoy it. I think the most that I'll do is probably watch the first episode and do a live stream instead of a video. That's something I'm considering, but I don't want to watch it. I want to move on from New Trek. I want to move away from it, and I want to talk about other things. And it's difficult to do and have people come back to the streams, because they are the channel has been predominantly New Trek related. Or shitting all over it, of course, but it was predominantly New Trek related. So I don't want to carry on with Strange New Worlds, and I don't want to review season 2 of Academy. I want to start focusing on more serious videos, more professionally, or videos that making videos look more professional than they are. I want to do that. Thank you for that like, whoever's just liked that. That's really good of you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I want to focus on better content. I want to focus on quality rather than just putting out a weekly video that I've filmed on a Samsung with crappy audio. It's why I've invested a bit of money into some lavaliers because I want to work on my sound quality and presentation. So I figured I'm a somewhat reasonable gamer. I enjoy playing games. Why not do platinum videos? And this platinum video is hilarious because it wasn't hilarious because it's taken 2 months in post to put together, to edit, to cut, to trim, to overlay, to render. It's taken months. I'd say that's just the editing. It actually it's taken 3 months all told, because I had to spend a couple of weekends actually playing the game and capturing the software, capturing the images and the video, and the so there was, how much footage was there? I think there was 17 hours it took me to complete the game. The past weeks I played Pragmata and I enjoyed it. I'm looking into Pragmata. I'll probably get it when it's a bit cheaper. It's not usually the type of game I go for, but I'm getting tempted to buy it. We'll put it that way. So yeah, it was 17 hours roughly, but a little bit over, maybe 17 hours and 50 minutes of actual gameplay from start to finish in the whole experience and getting all the trophies. And the footage was also 17 hours, but it was ×2 because I had to take the footage of the game and then I had to take the footage from my camera phone. And then I spent months, and you know, these were in hour-long increments, and I went through and labelled it all. This is that run, this is that run, you know. I ended up with, 140 gigs worth of video footage for one video. So it took fucking forever to trim down into a coherent video. So every spare moment I had, I was just doing a little bit at a time. And for 3 months worth, not 3 solid months, but for 3 months work, it got 58 views. Now, I could have released it onto this channel, but this channel is predominantly Star Trek. People don't, generally speaking, people don't come here for people generally speaking come here for Star Trek related stuff. Took me 30 hours to reach the end of Pragmata. I'm a slow gamer, mate. The older I get, I can't handle fast-paced games anymore. I can't do it. I'm just too old. My reaction times are getting slower and everything, and I'm quite a methodical gamer. The Gooner, welcome back. Yeah, we're off the topic of Buffy now, so I'm just having a chat with people before closing off the stream. The latest state of play was a little better. I'll admit that I did watch it live and it was a bit better. I'm not too impressed with the PlayStation Plus games, the classics catalog. It's like that's the games that they've stated they're not classics. They are not classics. There's no way those are classics. Wolverine, yeah, that looked good. Tomb Raider, very interested in Tomb Raider, the new Tomb Raider game. It looks like they've done Lara right, which is good. Until Dawn 2, I wasn't a big fan of Until Dawn, so I don't think I'll be playing Until Dawn 2. And God of War, there's a bit of a problem with God of War, isn't there? Because you're not playing as Kratos. So what's the point? You know? And they do this all the time. Companies do this all the time. It's like, yeah, let's make a Mad Max film, but with the side character as a woman. It's just like, it's not Mad Max then, is it? You know, it would. Yeah, well, why not just why not just bring Enterprise back and just have it be to Pole and all new characters, and somehow tie it into Enterprise, but call it Enterprise. It's like, nah. It's just for more lore. Yeah, at the end of the day, it's fine. You know, they did it with Uncharted with Chloe and Nadine for the Lost Legacy. I played that game. It still felt like an Uncharted game even without Drake in it. So I can imagine, you know, it's not a main game. It's kind of like a glorified DLC. I get it. Yeah, it would be better as a DLC. So it is a main AAA. I've also noticed that individual companies like Ubisoft have stopped doing their own showcases. Oh well, nothing of value was lost there. Yeah. I love Lost Legacy. Chloe's great. Mate, Chloe was a great character, and I loved Lost Legacy too. I thought it was fantastic. I hated the character of Nadine. She pissed me off. But Chloe was a great character. Absolutely wonderful character. And Lost Legacy, I platinumed that in a weekend. I loved that game. And I love the fact that they released it as well. It was a great little offshoot to Uncharted. It's definitely going on the platinum journey list. I was telling people about the platinum Destination Platinum video that I made. Not doing so well, and I fully expected it not to do so well. What's it sitting at right now? What's it sitting at now? I'm just pulling it up. Still sitting at 58 views. Honestly, I thought it was raining again. I'm hearing water everywhere. Nadine is Abby. Same voice actor. I might explain why I don't then. I was in and out of most of the stream. I loved the profound insight you brought to the Buffy Season 5 finale. Oh, thank you. Was it the finale? Insight that I brought to the Buffy Season 5 finale. Did I talk about the finale? I don't think I did. Was it about the episode that the body? I might get that new Tomb Raider remake when it's on Steam. Yeah, I'll be getting that. I always enjoyed the Tomb Raider games. I enjoyed the was it the 2013 Tomb Raider? The the one on the island. I enjoyed that. I didn't enjoy the two after that though. Yeah, I will definitely get it, Rocker. Yeah, I'll stream it as well. I think Summer Games Fest tonight, isn't it? And I think it's starting very shortly. So hopefully another Resident Evil will be announced. It is the 30th anniversary. I thought they'd have 2 games going, but yeah. You may be temporarily typecast as a Star Trek channel, but you can easily transform into a quality sci-fi fantasy channel, provided you can find some worth addressing. That's the problem, isn't it? There's not much out there that's good. We were going to get a Stargate show. We were going to get a proper, fantastic direct, a fan desired Stargate show, but Amazon said it's you're not bringing in a new audience, and it's made for the fans, and it's wrong, so we'll shut it down. It's like, no. They've just proven exactly who they are and exactly what they're about by saying, oh yeah, the fans will like it too much and it won't bring in any new audience. Sadly, sci-fi stuff is thin on the ground of late. Yeah, Project Hail Mary proved that it can still be done, but quality sci-fi shows at the minute, new ones, then they don't exist. Gooner, have you seen the end of For All Mankind? Have you tried Star City? I've not had a chance yet. I want to watch Spider Noir first. Yeah, we're going to watch Spider Noir soon. I think me and the missus are going to do it. And maybe with the lad as well. Or maybe with both the lads. You can watch the new Blu-ray release of Blake 7. Wow. Blast from the past. I know I haven't tried Star City, my friend. I can safely say I am not interested. You've seen the finale of For All Mankind. And what did you think to that, my friend? We dodged a bullet with the Stargate cancellation. I got the definite feeling it would have messed with it too much. I don't know, mate. I don't know. The way that they've put it is it was going to be a show for the fans, and it was going to be aimed at the fans, and Amazon didn't like the fact that it was so good, and it kept to lore and canon, and that they cancelled it because essentially it wasn't woke enough to bring in the mysterious modern audience that doesn't exist. Yes, I've seen the finale For All Mankind. Not much, to be honest. Yeah. Oh, mate. Nothing's been achieved. I mean, I did for a split second think that Kelly had stumbled upon the proto thing from The Expanse because it glowed blue, and I'm like, no, they haven't gone and done it, have they? The original grew a huge audience to multiple series, but I guess DI minds can't do the math. Yeah, absolutely agreed. For All Mankind is good, but I found the last season a bit disappointing. You are not the only one, my friend. I found it also disappointing. Not enough sci-fi, too much politics and fighting. Yeah, it became less about the advancement of space. And we and Gooner were having this conversation where it should have been about the Sojourner flight. It should have been about Titan. Instead, it was about Earth and Mars bickering. And to the point where Sojourner just became this thing just happened to be happening. I don't trust Amazon not to meddle with IPs, frankly, is what I meant. No, absolutely. And yeah, I understand where you're coming from now, Steve, to be fair. That's a fair point. I misunderstood. You're right. And in some ways, well, Amazon own the property, don't they? So what they've essentially done is they've told the makers, no, you're not making it woke enough. You're not making you're not making it, basically. But that then leads me to fear that they'll just get someone else to come in. Someone worse, and it's going to deliver something that Amazon want. So Amazon will make the show that Amazon want to make, and it will be a show that will fail because it's a show that Amazon wants to make. The Rings of Power is failing, and yet they just keep ordering more series. And the thing is, they've got FU money, haven't they? They've got money to burn. Yeah, Globe Blue, same here. Rocco, yeah, everything became too easy. Yeah, Going all the way to Titan, no problem. Bit of unleaded fuel, we'll get there easy. Yeah, they could have focused on that Sojourner mission. Had a couple of perilous moments in space where they got it. You remember the tank catching? You remember Molly Cobb, right? You remember all the peril that they were in, and the hardship they endured, and Deke, and all of these great characters from the early seasons, and great moments. Now it's just bickering and fighting on Mars. It's ridiculous. It's no longer about the dangers of space travel and pushing the envelope anymore. It's about Mars workers fear automation. It was so well done in the early seasons. Yeah, it was. And season 5, you felt it and lived it. Yeah, fantastic. Absolutely. And season 5 was so meh. So meh. It was disappointing, mate. Disappointing. Just, it's such a shame as well. So yeah, I've got no interest in Star City, my friend. None. Because I've already seen a great story. I don't need to see it retold from the other side. That's why, although a slow burner, it built up to explosive finales. Yeah, 100%. Alternative history as well is great. But yeah, Star City, mate. I don't think you got any hope of getting me to watch that. Not unless you or Watch Nerd come back to me and say Star City is fantastic. I'm not joking. I can't recall what happened in the finale. Other than Kelly Baldwin wading through the lake on Titan. I'm struggling to remember what happened in the finale now. Didn't the Alex lad shoot his mate and his mate went to the infirmary? That was one thing that happened. Oh God, yeah. Again, I'm struggling. Exactly, Star City, different perspective, but same story. Yeah, I already know what happens. So what's the point? Star City would have worked if it was written into For All Mankind, into the episode, so you saw both sides of what happened. Maybe one episode was the American side, then one episode was the Russian side. Oh yeah, the lake walk, and she something right. Did his mate? And she did something right. Yeah. Did his mate survive? I think he did. Yes. Saw something. There you go. Saw something right. Yeah. It was the blue misty algae in the water or whatever it was. I honestly thought it was the proto molecule. That's what it was. The proto molecule from. I thought that's how they were, because it was blue. Yeah. Just because it was blue. So. Do me a favour, Gooner. Just let me know. Is my mic any clearer than usual? Is the sound good? I've asked a few times, but no one's getting back to me. I've spent this entire stream talking. Is the sound quality any good? I really want to know if these mics are working. We still can't have nice things anymore, huh? Star City sounds like they're treading water creatively. It sounds like a spin-off was ordered and they went, oh, what do we do now? Oh, we could retell the story from the other side. Sound is fine. I appreciate the feedback. Thank you. Sound is great. Awesome. Yeah, I bought some lavalier mics. It's a great microphone because it comes in a little charging case. I can't show you because my camera's not on, but it comes. They come in a charging case, and they're professional grade, spot on. I'm viewing by phone, but the audio is good. Okay, as long as I've got some bass to my voice and I don't sound like speaking in a tin can, then that's all good. Yeah, For All Mankind, not it was such a good. I loved binging the first 4 seasons. The 4th season started to fade a little bit, but the first 3 seasons were fantastic. I loved binging them, and binge them. I bloody did. Yeah. Oh, nice. Yeah, good. Yeah. It's good stuff, mate. Good stuff, and I think it'll improve the videos. You liked my Uncharted video then? That was a fucker to edit. Oh, there's so many things I did wrong from the outset that made it so hard to watch. I'll watch the first 2 episodes and report back. I appreciate that, mate. I'll be shocked if it's good. I've heard it's good, but again, it's pointless. It's pointless. It doesn't matter if it's good or not. I already know what's going to happen. It seems pointless to me. It's just, yeah. Just seems pointless, that's all. And also, I'm trying to think what to platinum next, by the way, on my gaming channel. If no one, if you're on here and you're not subscribed to my gaming channel, gonna have a look over there. I've made some videos, and I've just made a video that's an hour and 15 minutes long. It's my most ambitious project, and it's taken months. And I've got 58 views on it. It's really funny because it's quite tragic. The Uncharted video was great. Your reactions were like me if I played that game, swearing profusely at the dumb game stuff. It was that crushing mode. I honestly think I concerned my neighbour a little bit because he kept giving me funny looks afterwards. Because I got my headphones on, I didn't realise just how loud I was being. So I realised just how much swearing there was when I went back and viewed the footage. I was like, oh shit, I didn't realise I was this bad. And I thought, you know what, if I beat them out, make some pictograms of the swear words, then people will know. What's that? So I'm collection Star City episodes from this season, but haven't watched them yet. Oh, your collection stuff. Yeah, so giving them a backlog. I'll have a look at moment at your gaming channel tomorrow. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that, Rocco. It's my fun channel. It's my fun thing to do channel. Yes, weird what a thing they have done. Sounds like we have run out of ideas. Look at season 5. What shall we do? Oh, we can retell the story from scratch from another character's eyes. Yeah, and the fact they're all speaking English. I'd have had more respect for them if they'd have all spoken in Russian and had subtitles. Probably thought you were crazy, mate. Don't, because I'm trying to be nice to him and trying to, he's a lovely guy, but I must think I'm bonkers because I had my headphones on. I couldn't really hear how loud I was being. It was so funny, but it was a great experience doing that video. Great experience playing the game. It's just a beautiful game, but it is incredibly frustrating. And Gooner, you completed it on brutal. You absolute mad lad. I don't know. That might be a stream that gets demonetized. Yeah. Yeah, it does not sound authentic. Yeah, the Russian language doesn't sound authentic. Yeah. I don't know what to do for the next platinum. I've got to pick a game. Took me ages to. Yeah, I can imagine. I don't know what game to go for. I was thinking of Resident Evil, but then I was thinking perhaps it'd be more interesting to play a game that I've never played before. So I was thinking Dead Space, perhaps. Oh my god, the frustration and patience required. Yeah, I don't think I'd have it. Yeah, I was thinking Dead Space. Dead Space might be a good one to go for. So, maybe because I've got Dead Space. I've heard it's tough though. I suppose I chose Uncharted because I played it before. In fact, I'm fairly certain I've platinumed it before, but just on a different account years ago. One shot kills. Yeah, the usual. All Dead Space do it. Yeah, it's a new Dead Space. They remade it, didn't they? Yeah, it's the new one. I've got it on the PlayStation 5. Yeah, I'll go back to it, Stephen. Not streamed for a while. We'll let you know when. Yeah, check out Gooner's game streams. They're always good fun, especially when he gets irate. He has a potty mouth like me. Question is, you're gonna play the original or the remake? I have both. Not played the remake yet. I probably play the remake because it's PS5. And I do like some haptic controls. I might replay Drake's Fortune. Yeah, Reaver was asking for it, and I said what I might do is just upload the raw footage. I think that's what I'm going to have to do anyway. Upload the raw footage. So I've got a UKDM archive channel. As I've just got to cut out the stuff in between and the interruptions from kids and wifey and stuff like that, and then upload it. I need to get rid of the raw footage anyway before I start my next video, because it's currently sitting at 145 gig on my spare drive. So yeah. Dead Space is definitely an option. A Resident Evil is a good backup. I've platinumed a few of Resident Evils, to be fair, but some of them, there's just I don't want to go back and replay, because some of them, shock horror, aren't very good. I'm not a big fan of Village, for example, and Resident Evil 6 can go bury itself as far as I'm concerned. But I'd be quite intrigued to play. I'll try it with a game that I've never played before. And Dead Space is one of those games that I think I've played like the first 5 minutes of, and then a Resident Evil game came out, and I just played that, and then forgot all about Dead Space. Like the criminal I am. There's loads of games out there, like I say, just to be able to go in platinum, but it's a labour of love rather than views, because it's not going anywhere. It's not doing anything. The video, it's sort of in order for that to be any kind of success, when I launch the video, I have to get my entire Discord community to stop what they're doing, bring the video up, play it in the background on their phones from different IP addresses. That should boost the algorithm enough to get the video seen by more people. But it's a labour of love, and I plan to do as many of these as I can a year. So that one took me about 3 months. So statistically, I should probably be able to do about 4 of those videos a year, maybe going up to about 6 when I get better at editing them together. I know my laptop's going to get some bloody work out of it, I tell you. What time are we on? 44. Yeah. Bring the stream to a close, I think, in a few. Resident Evil Veronica official reveal trailer is out. No, fuck off, it ain't. Seriously. Hold on. Is that the Summer Games Fest? Let's have a look. on the old WooTube. Oh my God, it is. Hold on, hold the phone. You're getting a live reaction here, except just not my face. I can't believe it. The Mad Lads actually fucking did it. No way. Oh, don't you dare go first person with Code Veronica.
Yes? So, you're the American who called earlier. The sister of the man on the 3rd floor.
I'm going to turn it down a little bit.
Welcome to Paris.
Just in case the mic is picking up too much. Don't want to get copyrighted now, do I?
Come in. Come in. We don't want you to catch a cold.
Oh my God.
I hate to say it, but your brother is quite odd. In we go.
Okay, this is weird to begin with. I can't believe they've done it. They've actually done Code Veronica.
He's made such a mess again. Think, I just cleaned it up a week ago. It's like a boulder rolled through here. Huh?
This is weird.
Delightful biscuit. I'm sure he won't notice if we help ourselves. Oh,
Hold on.
so sorry.
Hold on.
It must be the maintenance bring some nice coffee.
This is so weird. What the frick is going on? Yeah, it's Claire. You're playing as Claire, all right. 2 games for the price of fucking 1, eh? Swear if they make this first person, I'll go fucking nuts. I really will. Oh. Oh my God. Oh, there you go. Yep. Haha, Luger's. Nice. Resident Evil Veronica. $2027. You mad lads, you've gone and fucking done it, haven't you? It's only taken years to do. That is mad. Absolutely mad. Phenomenal. About fucking time. Okay. Nice stream, DM. Take care. All you lovely people in the chat. Later, Gooner. Yeah, you look after yourself, mate. Thank you so much. I'm going to leave Summer Games Fest. That's all I wanted to know is if a Code Veronica game came out. Thanks for letting me know, Gooner. Hail to Angels Pierre. How are you, my friend? It's good to have you here. I'm actually going to be shutting the stream down very shortly. It's getting late, and I have been talking about Buffy for the past 3 hours ish, and obviously the sad news of Anthony Anthony Head passing. Our Giles, he's passed on, bless him. It's very, very upsetting. It comes to everybody, obviously, but you know, my heart goes out to his family, his daughters. I hope they're okay, as okay as they can be. That's it. I've just literally watched the trailer for Code Veronica. I have to say I am impressed, but it looks very good. But it's not going to be with us until next year. Probably I would say about March, April time. Well, it's Capcom strategy, remaking all their old stuff because they got no good new ideas or rises. Well, I sort of kind of agree with that. The last game was the Requiem was a little bit below standard. It was subpar in my view. It wasn't. It didn't live up to its potential, and it didn't live up to the hype, in my view. And making it one campaign with two characters, I don't think worked. They need to split that campaign into two separate experiences, because the Grace sections are just far too slow and taxing. But I mean, I don't mind them remaking the games. They can do that. I'll buy them and I'll play them. I don't mind. Because I'm almost afraid of new stuff nowadays. I don't really want new stuff. I don't think they need to remake the remakes, but they'll just keep doing what they're doing. Remakes seem to be the way. But this has been a tremendous stream, and I'm really, really glad that I did it. I have to bring it to a close soon. Also, the thing they do to the Silent Hill franchise breaks my heart a little. I agree, and there's a reason for that, mate. It's because Team Silent disbanded years ago. The new... And it's what I've been saying with Star Trek, right? All these years. It's in the hands of new people who have a different vision for this stuff, right? But it's not Star Trek anymore. Silent Hill is exactly the same thing. Metal Gear Solid is exactly the same thing. Exactly the same thing. New writers, new team coming in. They're not going to be making Silent Hill because Team Silent's gone. It's disbanded. It's split up years ago. So Silent Hill is not going to be Silent Hill. And I haven't even bought Silent Hill F because it just doesn't seem like Silent Hill to me. And Townfall, to be fair, doesn't look like Silent Hill either. Looks like someone's reinterpretation of what Silent Hill is. You know, Resident Evil's gone through the same sort of changes, but they've at least been good games that have gone through. Aside from, I would say, the last two main titles. You know, the last two numbered original new games. I didn't care for Village much. I thought 7 was good. It was a good reimagining. But I didn't appreciate 8 that much. And 9, again, I platinumed it. I enjoyed the game, but I think it was really subpar. And if they make Code Veronica first fucking person, I don't understand the fascination with first person Resident Evil games. I simply don't. I don't want them to. If they make it first person, I'm out. I ain't getting it. That simple. Anyway, I am going to go away now. I'm going to do as the drinker tells me and go away now. So Michelle Geller just posted her reaction to Anthony Head's passing. By the way, very sweet. I shall read that off stream, mate. I've been very teary today. So new ones are above average horror games with Silent Hill name to sell copies. Yep. I 100% agree. This has been a great stream. It's been great talking to you all. I do apologise for not getting it, for deciding to do it very late. So Not a lot of people got notified that I was going live, but I hope you've enjoyed it, either live or post live. Don't forget to head on over to the gaming channel and check out my brand new hour and 15-minute long video. I promise you, I've tried to make it as entertaining as possible. Thank you. Thank you for that, Anthony Stewart Head stream, my friend. It's just seemed like the right thing to do. So you're very welcome, and I thank Anthony Head for giving us such a great character and a great journey for the past 30 years. What a true gent he was. By then, I'm going to play some the Gothic 1 remake. Mate, go and have some fun. Yeah, guys, go over to the gaming channel. It's UKDM Gaming. Please subscribe and watch the new Uncharted video. It was a labour of love, 3 months work. Please go and check it out. And I will see you very soon on another stream. You guys look after yourselves. Look after one another. Ta-ta, everyone. Bye-bye for now.